Hey guys, on my way down the mountain, but I thought I'd stop here for a minute. It's a little noisy with the traffic. Awakening the sexual center. Now, I'm not teaching you any tantra, nothing like that, but I just want to share my direct experience. As I was balancing my centers and realigning them and activating the higher centers with sovereignty, not giving my centers to the chakra gods. Anyway, what I noticed is my libido settled right down. I'm not a monk, but it just settled down. Then I was reading Moraviev's work, the info's in the notes. And that's the thing he talks about, is when the sexual center is serving the higher purpose, in other words, allowing for that access to the higher centers, the libido does settle. And so it wasn't, I believe, the book, but it was like the book was confirming what I was experiencing directly, which is what the awakening is all about, direct experience through Gnosis. So I thought this very interesting. So a bit like the higher and lower mind. You have the lower mind and then you have the higher mind. In the same way, sexual center, we've got the lower, the sex, the reproduction, but then you can make it serve its higher function, which is to allow access and communion with the higher centers. In fact, without the sexual centers serving the higher role correctly, I would say that it will severely limit your access to the higher centers. But one has to be very careful, because many people, they get into the tantra, they want to access the higher centers, but they haven't done the work. And one of the biggest problems is unhealed, unconscious trauma and the quick fix. I want to go on a retreat. I don't want to look at that dark stuff. The bottom line is most people are unconscious of the emotional work they need to do, because a lot of the damage, a lot of the blockage occurred when they were too young to process, so they ducked and buried and hid. So the other thing I want to say is, along with that, a lot of people are trying to access the sexual center, but without sovereignty. There's this idea that, hey, I'm starting to access the higher centers, job done. I say no. I'm of the view that all of the higher centers need to be accessed and calibrated with full sovereignty, making sure that they are under the true divine allegiance of the Father, of the higher centers, of the heavenly parent. So I'm going to talk more on this, but I think I'll leave it there.